my soul.
How we feel in Orlando, and isn't that the point, right?
Yeah.
The point is kids. You have 3 sons.
3 of them.
You have 3 boys.
Yep.
I have 4 babies. I moved to Florida, and I moved to Florida 4 years ago, and we've had a baby every single year. How about that?
So obviously it's in the water.
Yeah.
It's definitely in the water.
Can we start off the top of the dome with that? Because I feel like it's a family-friendly audience here, right? People love children, grandchildren, parents or anybody who's a parent or a grandparent out there? Any young people who want to be parents?
Oh, we got one guy in the back. One.
Hey, I feel you.
One.
Listen, I'm telling you, like that's the most important thing in life, right? Like a culture of life and a state that protects it. So how are we going to protect our children in this fine state? How are we going to encourage more great patriots and families in the state of Florida?
Well, it's a great question. I think the first piece is we take law and order seriously. You want to have great patriots who are young people who grow up to take the reins of leadership in our state, whether that's our government, whether that's our economy. It starts with law enforcement. It starts with safe communities. Second piece is education, and that's actually how I got into politics. Erica and I got in. It was really about education. I remember our oldest son, who's now 21, college graduate, killing it, doing his thing in finance, starting out his career. He came home one day and he was doing math homework. Now, I'm a finance major. My wife is an accounting major. We know math. You know, it's a thing. We're watching him do his homework. And I'm in the kitchen, I'm milling around, and he's kind of frustrated. And I look over his shoulder, and I'm like, "What is this?" And he says, "Well, I'm doing. I think he's doing long division. He's doing long division." And I said, "That's not how you do long division. I don't know what this is." And he goes, "This is how they're teaching us to do it." And I said, "Okay, well, I don't care what they're teaching you. This is wrong." And he was like, he's getting mad, and understandable. He's trying to do what his teachers are telling him to do. He's getting mad. I'm now upset. And I said to him, I go, "Son, I hire people. If you did math like this in my company, you're fired. But we're not doing this." And so that's what started the political journey. So the second piece is education. Our children have to be, not just know our history and know the facts of just basic economics, but they have to be proficient in reading, in math, so that they have an ability to use, their God-given intelligence coupled with the right things that they are learning in school, so they're prepared for the leadership of the future. The last thing is culture and political philosophy. I think as a party, it was said earlier on the stage, I forget which panel, that as a party, we have figured out what our philosophy is. And we believe that our philosophy, a conservative philosophy, is the very best thing when you're organizing a community, a city, a state, or a country. And for the future of our state, the future of Florida, it's about making sure that philosophy is being taught to our kids so that when they mature and they become adults and they can use the Socratic method, they can use their God-given talents, they will see very clearly what you and I already see, that conservatism is the pathway for a great state like Florida. It's the pathway for sound communities, and that's how you lead into the future.
Did anybody just notice that? What he did? He's been spending so much time with Trump. He just pulled it. "You're fired." Did you hear that? Did you hear him do it? Can you do it? I'm sure you got a good Trump impression.
No, actually, I have a terrible Trump impression. I can't do it.
Really?
No, I can't do it. I can't do it, and I never tried because that's him and that's not me.
Yeah.
Speaker Johnson does a great Trump impression. I'll give it to Speaker Johnson.
I won't
This
ask
is
you your
top
Speaker
notch.
Johnson impression. I'm
No,
not
I
going
will
to
not
get you
do
in
that.
trouble.
I will not do that.
You're homies with Donald Trump. You and Trump
I've
go
never
back.
heard anybody say we're homies.
You're homies with Trump.
That's a new one, but okay.
I'm allowed to culturally appropriate. I live in Tampa. I don't know. So you're homies with Trump. I live in a Cuban neighborhood. I can say homie. What up, my Cubans? I'm not Cuban, but yes.
The Cubans are right there.
I got Cuban bread. Who's got the Cuban bread in Tampa? So there's like one guy that knows the Cuban bread. He's right here. Yes, that's exactly right. He's like, "Yes, my man." Robert makes the Cuban bread. That's exactly. Everyone knows Robert, the Cuban bread. Okay, sorry, we're getting wildly off track here.
That's
You're
all right.
you're so close with Trump. You were a surrogate on the campaign. You spoke in Milwaukee. Everyone was proud watching him speak at the RNC convention, right? President Trump, the most seen miracle in human history, him surviving that assassin's bullet. And you spoke that same night with him. And he had the ear bandage and everything. It's powerful. What's your relationship like with him? How do you make Florida great again? Or how do you take MAGA to Florida level? How do you continue those Trump policies here, state level? He's endorsed you. Obviously, we all have seen that. You're the Trump endorsed candidate for governor. Here we go.
So, look, first thing I would say, Florida is the best state in the country. We are the best state in the country. And look, I say it often on the campaign trail, a lot of the credit for where we are as a state does go to Governor DeSantis. He's done a tremendous job leading the state. He really has. I guess I would say the thing that we share, we've both been endorsed by President Trump to be governor of Florida. So that's actually really cool. But I will tell you that when it comes to the president, he's just no nonsense. With him, it's what's the vision, what's the goal? Okay, go do that. And so when we were on the campaign trail together, what you would see very quickly is he is going to do everything necessary to win. It doesn't matter what the obstacles are. It doesn't matter how long you're on the plane. It doesn't matter how many motorcades you're in, how many speeches you give, how many people you see, how many photos you take. All of that is irrelevant. Every piece of energy, every second of time is devoted to success, devoted to victory. And so when you're on the campaign trail with him, there's no excuse. You can't be like, oh, I'm tired, I'm not feeling good today, because he's at it every single day. And so, a bunch of us who did a lot of heavy lifting, we're like, we don't have an excuse. Like, he's 78 and he's rolling. Like, we have no excuses. So that's thing number one. Thing number two, I would say, when it comes to the president, is he just wants you to be yourself. Now, I think he realizes when, I think people in politics are trying to, be him, as opposed to them just being themselves. I think that's one of the reasons why he and JD get along so well. Because if you watch JD, JD is JD. Like, JD is not trying to be Donald Trump, he's himself. I think the president fully respects that. Third thing is, you got to have no fear. No fear at all. I remember, it didn't matter what the room was, whether it was doing the Breakfast Club in New York City, whether it was going on CNN, going on MSNBC. The thing he wants to see really out of our entire movement is we cannot have any fear. We have to fight, fight, fight. And if he knows that you have no fear, you and him will get along. It'll be pretty seamless. And look, at the end of the day, you gotta be fun. You gotta have a good sense of humor. He does like people who look like Central Casting. That's his deal. He loves that. But that's him. But at the end of the day, it's about the mission. And from Butler, I will tell you that night, Monday night of the convention, I didn't expect him to come out that night, and I don't think anybody did. I was in the green room. I had given my speech at the convention, and that was an amazing experience. I will say it was one of the great honors of my life, because when my wife and I started in politics 15, 16 years ago, never did we think I would be speaking at the convention. That was never something that ever occurred to me, because I was an activist. I'm a Tea Party guy. So I was a door knocker, a phone caller. I was a guy helping people win races. I'm a guy that was involved in some of the activist things that you do on a local level. We're fighting for better choices in education, which at the time it was getting rid of Common Core. That was the fight at the time, and you're involved in that on the ground. So never did I think it was going to transform into 7 minutes on stage at the RNC. That was really wild. The thing I really didn't see coming was when they told me earlier in the day, you're going to sit in the president's box. And so, listen, I'm a regular person. So when you hear you're going to be in somebody's box, you're thinking, oh, cool, I'm going to be in the skybox. Tell me what room it is. That's a real honor. I'm going to go up to a skybox and sit there. And they were like, no, you're going to be sitting in his box. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay, well, whatever. We'll figure that out. So when I'm done speaking, I'm in the tunnel, and out comes one of the advanced guys that was on the campaign. I know him very well. And he goes, man, that was a great speech. We were just watching it. The boss is inside. Just go in and say hi to him. okay. So I go inside, and Susie Wiles, who everybody will see later tonight, and a couple of the key campaign people were in the room, and the president's on the phone, and he's kind of on the phone like this. You know, he's like this, and of course, this is the year. So he's like this, and he's on the phone, he's talking, he sees me, and he's like, wait 1 second. And he gets off the phone, and he's like, Byron, that was a great speech. And he turns to me, and I see the bandage. And the second thing is, what do you think of the bandage? This is him. This is who he is, man.
What did you say?
I said, I don't like it. Take it off.
That's what you
That's
told
what I
the
said.
president?
I said, I don't like it. Take it off.
No.
I said, let everybody see the year. He was like, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But the docs, they want me to keep the bandage on. Doc Ronnie Jackson, my colleague from Texas, Doc Ronnie. He's like, Doc Ronnie says I got to wear the bandage. I'm like, so what? You're the president. Just take the thing off. And he goes, no, I think I'm going to keep it on. And it was good. He was like, that was a good speech. And I said, thank you. And he goes, I'll see you later. I'm like, okay. So they escort me out, and I'm going through the tunnels, and I'm thinking I'm going to go up to the elevator to go to the box. And they're like, no, sir, you're going to walk down this way. So I'm walking down the rampway in the tunnels, and the carpet turns red. And I'm like, well, why is the carpet red? And then I walk out, and it's like the sea of cameras, and you realize you're on the arena floor. And then on the arena floor, they're like, all right, come on, sir, we're going to walk up these steps right here. And I'm like, but this box is in the top of the arena. That's where we got to go. And then they go, no, sir, this is where you're sitting. And I walk out, and you see the chairs, and I'm like, oh, shoot, this is a great seat. I was like, so maybe I'm like 3 levels up, I'm sitting up there with, with one of the guys up there. And they go, all right, here's your seat. And I'm sitting in the front row, and I'm like, oh, this is a great seat. And I look on the floor, and on the floor on the masking tape, it said DJT. And they're like, yeah, this is your seat. And I'm like, oh man, so many people are going to be mad. They're going to be mad, but this is great. This is great. So while everybody's still doing their speeches and stuff, David Sachs, who's the president's czar on digital assets and crypto, he was sitting in row 3, and he comes down, and he's sitting next to me. And we were talking, and then he started to check his messages, and I'm checking mine, because we've been running all day during the convention. And after about 5 minutes, I'm like kind of looking over at David like, you got to get up. That's DJT. I love you, David, but you can't sit here. That's his seat. Man, it was great that when he came out that night, I got to tell you, for me, it was epic to see the response from everybody in the arena. If you were in Milwaukee, you know what I'm talking about. That night it was like nothing. It was like nothing you could really put together. I think because the country got a chance to see not just the fighter Donald Trump, but I think I'll say to this day, I think the country got a chance to see Donald. And in that moment, I think he connected with the American people. They connected with him, and then that campaign went off to a whole nother level.
Yes, that's right. That was the moment. Everybody remembers the moment.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers the moment. Where were you when you heard Trump was shot? Everyone, you'll remember that for the rest of your life, right? Yeah. This is spiritual. We're fighting a spiritual battle. Unpack that for me really quickly. Everyone got to see actually Donald. What does that mean? Well, the country got to see Donald, you just said. Yeah. What does that mean to you?
I think in that moment, like anybody would, I guess, but I think he kind of understood the magnitude of what this campaign was about. And I mean, look, he's been persecuted more than any modern politician, probably since Nixon, if we're going to be honest. Like, he's been persecuted probably more than Nixon. Whether it's the indictments, the impeachments, the investigations. Now we're realizing just how disgusting the Democrats are and how they manipulated the intelligence community just because they couldn't take losing. I'll leave that for a moment. But through all of that, he's had this resolve of, oh, you're coming at me? Well, I'm going to come back at you twice as hard. And that's really his resolve. I think Butler, literally, when he just turned his head just like a little bit more to see the chart, you come face to face with your mortality. And I think even in that instance, it wasn't just Donald J. Trump and I approve this message, it was, I'm Donald. I have kids. I have grandkids. I love this country. You know, he loves New York. He loves America. He wants to see the best. And I think that the aftermath of Butler, I think, gave the American people an opportunity to see him. And I think it gave him, I think, an ability to kind of just to pull a layer back and see the core man. Like when Kai went to speak, that was tremendous. You see him. I was at Daytona Motor Speedway when he the other day, a couple months ago, when he brought his granddaughter out on the track, and she's in her ruby red shoes, and you can see, like, man, he's a grandfather. He loves his family. He wants what's best for the country. And I think that after Butler, where most people in politics would have probably tried to shy away or really hidden themselves from the public, he actually expanded that. And it wasn't rhetoric, it was just him. And I think that's how that connection with the American people really became stronger throughout the end of the campaign.
Yes. Who is thankful? Let's do a poll here really quickly. Who is thankful that 10 miles down the road here, we could all go buy a ticket, and I did this actually yesterday, and go see in a experience called the Hall of Presidents, a beautifully robotic Donald Trump stand up and deliver the oath of office instead of a robotic Kamala Harris or Hillary Clinton at Disney World. I am very thankful for that.
Me too.
And my kids think that's actually Donald Trump in the ride, and they think that's where Trump lives in Disney World. I have the video to prove it.
Don't tempt him. He might take over the Hall of Presidents. Don't tempt him.
There's something amazing. If you actually go, there's something amazing. Disney actually did the 2 thumbs up. Watch carefully. They had the Trump go like this. And the Robo Trump actually does 2 thumbs up. It's amazing. What a state, man. And Disney, I don't think would ever do that unless they sort of got put in their place. And Florida's been doing a lot of that. Florida's been doing a lot of that. How are you going to continue that fight to de-wokeify the state? Because it was a little touch and go there, right? Disney fought back. Disney said, no way, the state of Florida's we're going to do what we're going to do. And boy, they were put down.
Well, the governor laid the mantle down very clear. You can run your business all you want, but if you interfere with the political decisions of Florida and the legislative decisions of Florida, then we're going to have to come and take a hard, long look at you. And that's not going to change, by the way. We have no problem with companies choosing our state, being a part of the fabric of our state, running their enterprises. We want to grow that in our state. We want more jobs coming here. We want even more vibrant economy than where we stand today. But there is going to be a clear dividing line, and that is the legislative and political matters of our state are going to reside with the governor and with the state legislature, and they're not going to be up for discussion with corporate America. It's just the way it is.
Good. Strong leader. So you said Florida is the most free state in the union, and there was a challenge against that recently. If you want to piss off a group of people, say that to a Texan. Texas has decided to go redistrict.
Yeah.
Did anybody see this? So Texas added 5 new congressional seats for Republicans. And they said, yippee-ki-yay, you can try and stop us. And my question to you is, there is a debate as to whether Florida should attempt to do the same. You currently are a member of Congress. What's your take on that?
So, you're not going to like this answer, but as a member of Congress, I do not engage in redistricting conversations. And the reason why, to be blunt, is I don't want to be in a redistricting lawsuit. Don't want to do it.
Got it.
So what I would say to the governor and to my colleagues in the legislature, I believe that you should always be looking at the makeup of congressional districts to make sure they're representative of the people of Florida. I will leave it at that.
All right. Here's the trump card for whether Florida or Texas is a better state. Only one state has...
Oh, wait.
Yeah, please.
I forgot to talk about Texas for a moment.
Please. Okay, go in, Governor.
I love my colleagues in Texas. I know a lot of them. Great state. It's awesome that they're number 2. It is awesome. And my Vivek Ramaswamy, he's a good friend. Vivek and I really, started developing a relationship through the campaign. And he's running for governor of Ohio, crushing it, doing a tremendous job. He's going to be the next governor of Ohio, and we're really excited for him. But Vivek said that, we're going to make Ohio the best state in the country. And I looked at him and I go, number 2 is a great goal. Great goal. But Florida's number 1.
Yeah.
That is not going to change.
If you want to end this argument immediately, there's only one state that sends Jasmine Crockett to Congress. Is that true? Yeah. Okay.
But you just went there, man.
Oh, you
just went there. You went there with Jasmine.
Oh, yes.
Oh, boy.
Well, you got to work with her every day. How's that going? You gonna be in one of those TikToks? You gonna be dancing down the hallway?
No.
To Kendrick?
No. We're not gonna be dancing down the hallway.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, look, I feel bad for the Dems. I don't, to be honest with you. But this is what happens when your party becomes about ideas and policies that people just simply cannot support. When you do crazy things like say that boys can be in girls' sports, that is insanity. People don't support that.
Yes.
When you don't protect the puberty of young kids, like puberty, it's just human biology. If you can't protect that as a political party, then you don't deserve political power.
Yeah.
Period.
Well done.
And so, as a party, what has separated us from the Democrats is, despite all the political machinations that have gone on over the last several